Assalamu alaikum, hello. Welcome back again to another walk and do session. My name is Hassaan and I'm a chemical process engineer. Today we are going to conduct an interview of a graduate from Nust University. His name is Hassaan Badr. His GPA is 3.46 and during an interview we will analyze that how well he knows what he has written in his CV. So let's first analyze his CV. Okay, Hassaan Badr, National Chemical Engineering from Nust, graduated in June 2021. Obviously, he's looking for a job right now. So he has completed his intermediate from Multan College and matric also from Multan in 2015. Okay, let's talk about his projects during the graduation phase. His final year project is related to asphalting and emulsions control during the crude oil extraction. So it's an upstream project. Okay, so he has his project is linked with the Pakistan Petroleum Limited (PPL). So he has developed the closed control system on S1 Plus to optimize the concentration of demulsifier for improved demulsification. Okay. Also designed the asphalting unit to improve the asphalting content of crude oil. Performed PHA Hazop analysis and economic costing of the whole design plan. Very great. Uh, he has also completed semester projects, which is based on high sales or process simulation. Okay, so he has been a lot of extracurricular activities during the graduation. Um, okay, so he has also done volunteering in IQ and other societies. Skills and achievements. Okay, so his awards won third position in inter college quiz competition. Great. Awarded with merit based scholarship. Very good. Runner up in intra school double wicket cricket tournament. So he's a cricketer. Software skills, MATLAB analysis. So he has also some graphics experience in Adobe Photoshop and Premiere Pro. Good. Okay, so let's invite him and see.
Hello.
So Hassaan, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Good. So let's start with your introduction.
Okay, so sir, myself Hassaan Badr. I belong to Gurewala, and which is situated in district Vihadi. I did my early education from the same city. After that, I did my FSc from Government College Gurewala, and then I pursued my chemical engineering from National University of Sciences and Technology, from where I recently graduated. Sir, in my undergrad life, I had been a part of different organizing committees and managed different events as well. Besides that, in my final year, I did my FYP on the upstream of the oil refinery with Pakistan Petroleum Limited. And in my free time, I enjoy doing graphic designing, watching movies, watching and playing cricket. And I also do read books a lot.
So why do you choose chemical engineering?
Sir, actually, at that time, I honestly used the technique of ruling out the other technologies. Like I was not interested in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering. So and I was not interested in the computer sciences as well. That is why I choose the chemical engineering. Second reason is my desire to learn chemistry more. Uh, yes.
Okay. So tell us about your final year project. What is
Okay, so sir.
you have performed, and what was your role during the designing phase, and why you choose that project? What was the purpose behind of choosing that project?
All right, sir. So, sir, as I just said, my final year project was on the upstream of the oil refinery with Pakistan Petroleum Limited, and I was a group leader of the project, and the reason why I chose the project was it was a bit challenging, and it was the company had two major problems at that time that they wanted the solution for that. One was the emulsification problem at the upstream, and other was the asphalting problem, the precipitation of the asphaltenes. There was a very high concentration of asphaltenes that we have to consider, and there was a problem that they had to put the emulsifier in their upstream without any calculation. They had to put the random amount of it. So sometimes it and sometime it was not enough to de-emulsify the whole crude. So our task was to optimize the whole process by studying it and devise a solution for both of the problems.
Okay, great. So, what do you know about desalter?
Okay, so sir, desalter actually there are the concentration of the salts present in the crude in a very higher amount that must be cut to the certain cutoff level so that it may not harm the equipment further at the downstream. Purpose of desalter is to remove those salts from the crude.
So, what chemical injection is normally used in the desalter?
Sir, actually, I forgot the about the detailed process of the detailed description of the disorder. Uh, but we had uh, but we had the task to install a certain other equipment at the upstream, despite of the disorder.
So, you talked about the demulsification. So, do you know
Yes.
how many types of demulsifiers are there in the market?
How many types of demulsifier are there in market? Sir, there are anionic demulsifier and cationic demulsifiers. Majorly, we categorize into two categories.
Okay, so what about the oil-based or water-based emulsifiers?
Uh, Sir, I am not aware of it.
Okay, so you also talked about asphaltenes. So what
Yes,
problems
sir.
usually face in the downstream industry related to asphaltene? Like when crude is processed in an oil refinery, and you can say that if there is high wax content or asphaltene in the crude, then what do you think that what problems may arise during processing of that crude?
Sir, do I have to answer it on the with respect to the upstream problems or both upstream and the downstream related problems?
Upstream or downstream combination?
All right. So, sir, if we talk about the upstream, if we have the greater concentration of the asphaltenes, then due to the turbulence at the different levels, for example, at the pipes, at the fittings, at the valves, at different equipments, due to the introduction of the turbulence, the precipitation of asphaltenes take place. That phenomena is particularly known as asphalting. And how it is undesirable? Why it is undesirable? The reason being, it gathers or forms a layer over the different equipments and in the pipelines. It may cause a pressure drop, and also it may affect the heat transfer. So this is the one reason at the asphaltenes concentration should be lower at the upstream. While talking about the downstream, sir, if we have the greater concentration of asphaltenes, it means we are going to have a very low API gravity of our crude, which is not desirable because we want the higher we want the lower API compounds. Sorry, higher API compounds in our spalding, which is considered to be a good crude. Secondly, sir, there is a problem of cooking there, which happens. It against the formation of the layers and may affect the heat transfer at the equipment of downstream level.
And what's the difference between asphaltene and wax content?
Sir, asphaltenes is considered to be the highest molecular weight compound, while wax is considered to be a bit lower molecular weight compound. I think it's less than 700 kg per mole, while that of asphaltenes group, it is equal to or greater than 700 kg per mole.
You
So
just,
there is a difference of molecular weight.
you just mentioned that if the API gravity is low, then there could be a problem arise during the processing of the food. But in Europe, uh, there are refineries which are based on or designed on heavy foods. Then how will they overcome this problem of asphaltene in food heat exchangers? Do you have any idea of it?
That what problems that they face who are totally based on the higher concentrations of asphaltenes. Sir, I'm not sure about them, but uh, again, the problems can be related to the cooking and itself, the asphalting phenomena.
Also, the lower grade API foods are cheaper than higher grade.
Yes, yes,
So you also mentioned in your projects that you have a semester project related to Aspen HYSIS, right? So
yes, sir.
what did you do to produce ethanol or ethyl benzene in your project?
Sir, we produced ethylene from ethanol.
And what what was the procedure you adopt?
Okay. Uh, Sir, the procedure was uh, to convert it by having a fluidized bed, by having a packed bed reactor in which we had alumina as a catalyst, the bed of the alumina as a catalyst, uh, and the reaction was simple. Heating, it was the dehydration reaction through which ethanol was converted into ethylene at a higher temperature and pressure at around 4,000 degrees, sorry, 4,000 4,500 kilopascal and around 400 degrees Celsius. So the dehydration take place within the set of the battery reactors to convert it into ethylene.
What property package you selected during that simulation? Thermodynamic.
Okay. So, sir, I remember it was Peng Robinson. Yes, Peng Robinson fluid package.
So what is the limitation of Bang Robinson?
Um, sir, it was something related to the temperature and the pressure. I don't exactly remember them, but we took advantage of the method assistant at the time.
And what's the difference between Aspen HYSIS and Aspen Plus? If you perform the simulation on Aspen Plus, then would be any change in the results you will observe?
So definitely there are the change in the results. Uh, Also there is a difference of their graphical user interface when we are talking about the Aspen HYSIS. Then you have to uh, get the error on spot, but uh, while you have to do the whole simulation, next button and let it be to wait till and to know that how where which are the areas where errors are coming. So there is something difference in between while the processing. That's the thing I am trying to say.
Okay, so do you know the parts of control valve?
Sorry, part of
Control valve.
control valve.
Like, yes.
Uh,
For example, you have a vessel which is filled with water and there is 50% level in that vessel, and you just use a control valve at the downstream line to control the level of that vessel. Then what control valve you will use? Will it be reverse acting or direct acting control valve?
Um, Sir, actually, if we talk about the control valves, then um, the one we should prefer offers the least resistance, least pressure drop. I mean, uh,
This I just
if I want to control, if we want to control the level in a tank, and we have the valve at the upstream or the downstream,
downstream. Actually, I asked
downstream. Okay.
questions. Actually, I asked you two questions. One is related to the parts of control valve. Like for example, in a control valve, you will see a diaphragm on the top and valve body. Are you getting my point? What actually I am.
Yes.
And in the second question, I'm asking about the operation of control valve, like reverse acting or forward acting. Like for example, uh,
And
your vessel level is increasing, then what should be the action of that control valve?
sir, it should generate a clearance between the sitting and setting and the resistance that it have, whether it is a ball valve or other type of the valve, there should be a difference generated. While if there is a level drop in it, it should open. While if the level is rising, then it should generate a clearance so that the water pass away.
So you are saying that when level is increasing in a vessel, the control valve will open to remove that
Canola should open.
level against the set point. And if the set point is negative, then it will close.
Yes,
And
will close.
okay. And what about the parts? Don't you remember it?
Sir, I do not exactly remember the names, but I do have the structure in my mind. I cannot name them right now. There is a setting, there is a spindle, there is a casing, and yes, I cannot name them exactly.
Have you used control valves in Aspen Dynamics?
Yes, sir, I did.
So what did you do in control valve?
Sir, we did use it to first of all level control unit. We applied it to the level control unit. Also, there was a temperature control unit for that. We needed to apply. Actually, when you are doing it on the Dynamics offers you or compels you to install them at some places by itself. So yes, at level and temperature control, I do remember them.
Okay. You also mentioned in your CV that you have performed Hazop during your FIP project. So what is Hazop?
Sir, it is a hazard and operability analysis which is performed to analyze what problems and what are their potential outcomes can be, and how can we remove those problems.
So what are the guide words for Hazop?
So there are the 7 guide words for that that we usually use.
What are those?
More of, less of. I do not remember all of them, but it is some kind of more of, less of. Uh,
Okay, so let's create a scenario. You have a control valve and you are performing a Hazop on the control valve because it is located on the kerosene line, which is directing towards the storage tank. So your code word is high flow. Then what you will analyze with this code word, high flow?
okay. Uh, High flow of
Kerosene.
sir. It's high. Yes, uh, it shows that there is a set point, and the flow rate of the kerosene is above that set point.
Would it be possible that control valves have failed and it is open 100% against the set point? So that high,
Yes, the jamming.
passes through it.
Jamming of sir, the jamming of control valve can happen, as far as I know.
And what other scenarios could create with that high flow bad word
What are the scenarios that
that could create high flow across the control valve?
okay? So, sir, if we are talking particularly about if we are not talking about particularly kerosene, then uh, there are the set uh, there are the set flow rate in the industry in which the flow rate of the, let's say, of two reactant uh, must be similar, must be the molar concentration of the two reactant must be coming. If that is not happening, then obviously it is going to affect our product. So the concentration of the product will be affected.
So what other softwares you use regularly other than ISIS?
Sir, related to our field or
Related,
anything?
related to chemical engineering.
Sir, I have used Aspen Plus, Aspen Hysis. That's it. I do not have used the other softwares.
What about MATLAB?
Yes, we did MATLAB yes, we did MATLAB, but it was a way before our final year. Uh,
Can we connect MATLAB with S1 ISIS?
Sir, we surely can connect MATLAB with Aspen Hysis, but I do not know the procedure of it.
Okay. So have you participated in Aspen Tech user exam?
Not at all, sir. I've heard of it.
It was free during the COVID situation. And what's your future plan? Now you are
Uh,
in the market to explore job. So
uh, Sir, currently as a fresh graduate, we are all looking for jobs, and we have currently a few interviews in line for which we have shortlisted. For me, is to gain experience first is my priority, uh, and yes, to settle myself in the industrial sector is my future plan.
you want to become a process engineer in the future or the operation engineer.
Yes, operation engineer. Being operation engineer is my first priority, but yes, it can be good if one get hired for the job of process engineer.
What about the safety engineer?
Sir, honestly, if we talk about the safety engineer, then it
By,
is considered that
by chance, if you get a job of safety engineer, what you will do?
uh, sir, actually, I think there should be some kind of certification that you must have for that, like NIBOSH and OSHA, if I'm not wrong. I'm not actually qualified. I might not be qualified for that.
No, at entry level, there is no need to have Bosch or IOSH. But when you get experience in safety, like 2 to 3 years, then it will be good if you have the Bosch in hand.
All right, sir. I will see. I do not have seen my future in the safety side, but surely I will look into it.
So, how is the feedback from different industries? Like when you send your CV there, are you getting the feedback?
Uh, Surely, sir. Some of the industries are giving the feedback, uh, but some are unfortunately are not. Uh, if you talk about the major industries, then out of them around 60% have replied. But we are looking forward to have some replies from the other industries in this month of August.
So, what are your strengths?
Okay. So, sir, my biggest strength is self accountability, and uh, the other strengths are being reliable, and I can learn things quickly.
And weaknesses?
Sir, if we talk about weaknesses, then uh, I aim big and try to be the perfectionist that creates a lot of trouble for me. And so this is the biggest weakness that I am facing, biggest challenge I would say I am facing right now.
So suppose if you get a job uh, in a process engineering field, but like in your opinion, you want to join fertilizers and you get a job in polymers, then how will you manage it?
Sir, as I just said, I am a quick learner and I can easily develop my interest in different areas. So it won't be difficult for me to learn in that environment from the experiences of the others and by taking help from the others. And I will easily be adjusted in the polymer side if I am not if it is not even my first choice.
What is your message uh, to the viewers?
Uh, Sir, I would say uh, keep watching the videos and get benefited from the interviews. That's it.
And what is your comment on this mock interviews?
So for me, is that recording? Is that being recorded?
Yeah,
Okay. So, sir, honestly, for me, the question that were being asked were from those areas that were really weak. I think I'm not I'm not very much skilled in S1 HYSIS, and I will not say I'm not very much skilled. But the thing is, if you propose a scenario, will you keep something in front of me at say that you have to draw that simulation, then I will surely be drawing that. But if the question is being asked, then it becomes harder for me to regarding S1. So talking about my comment on it on the interview overall, it was very good and it genuinely targeted those areas which were very weak.
that is a good point for the mock
Yes,
mock.
that is a good point.
Like we are hitting
Yes, that is a good.
points which don't usually ask during an interview, but for from preparation point of view, it is very good to feel that pressure during an interview. Like when you go for another interview or the series of interview in upcoming weeks, you will realize that this mock interview have benefited you so much.
Definitely so.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, sir, as well.